So the problem statement is design a video conferencing app. Hi everyone, I'm Muskan Atar. I'm super excited to present one more Industry Connect with you all. We aim to bridge the gap between theory and application by bringing industry experts who share real-life experiences to learn from. Today, we have Ujjwal Sen with us. Welcome, Ujjwal.
Hello, great to be here. Thank you.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey everyone, I'm Ujjwal Sen. I'm currently working as a senior product manager at Microsoft, where I'm working on the crowd intelligence platform in the search technology and experiences team. And prior to this, I've been working as a product manager at Myntra, and I was looking primarily into the personalized communications charter, and also later on took up additional responsibilities of the user identity and app core deployment framework charters. So really great to be here. Thank you.
That's some amazing work you're doing. Thank you so much. I'm excited to solve this product design case with you. So if you're ready, should we start?
Yeah, let's get started.
Sure. So the problem statement is design a video conferencing app.
Right. So let me just take a couple of minutes to gather my thoughts, right?
Sure.
Is it okay if I present my screen?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to ask a couple of clarifying questions and then like base my answer on the results, right? So could you just
Sure.
tell me what type of product are we targeting? Like, are we targeting an internal product which is primarily catering to like internal teams, or are we looking at partner teams, or are we looking at end user facing product like say Skype or Zoom?
So we are currently targeting end users.
Okay, right. So this product will be used by end users. And also like what type of chats are we looking at, right, for end users? Like are these going to be like group chats, or are these going to be one-on-one chats primarily, or are we looking at like a broadcasting scenario where we have a few speakers and a large number of listeners?
Glad that you asked this question. We are currently looking for group chat.
Okay, so these are going to be group or primarily like one-on-one chats. Thanks. And like, are we looking at a specific geography, or are we looking at a specific demographic of users, or are we looking at all users?
As far as geography is considered, you can assume all India. Don't worry much about cross geo calling. And as far as demographic is considered, you can assume age group of 18 to 30, both for
Okay,
personal and professional use.
got it. Thanks. And like, why are we trying to build this? Like, are we having like, do we need to have a specific feature set in mind, or are we just trying to build a new and better video app to gain market share, or are we already having an existing app and we are trying to increase engagement?
So we are building a new app currently, and our goal is we want to increase the market share and increase engagement as well.
Okay, sure. So new app in any case would have engagement as a metric, right?
Right.
Cool. So with these, I'd like to take a bit more time to understand the user, because like in particular, all India itself is like a large market, right? So
Right.
what are the like, just trying to understand more, like are the users having any specific pain points that you want me to target, or are we looking at say only kids, or are we only looking at specific niches, or are we looking at multiple like generic apps?
We haven't decided this yet. So you can list down the user segments that you think of, and then select one among it and work on it further.
Okay. So is it fine if I use the generic or the like if I consider it to be a generic video app?
Yes, it would be fine for us.
Okay, cool. Okay. So before we go forward, also wanted to understand, are we looking at like, since this is a very technical product, right? So are we looking at any specific scenarios that you have in mind? I already listed down two, like the server load and the jittery internet, which would be potential issues for a video conferencing app, right?
Right. You can take the scenarios in mind, but from our side, there are no constraints as such.
Okay. And also, like from a resourcing and financial perspective, then I'm going to assume that we are well funded and well financed from those perspectives. Yes.
Right. You can assume that.
Okay. So on the basis of this, the core jobs to be done that I understand are that as a group of friends or colleagues, our users would like to call each other, right? And in a one-on-one personal or professional meeting, our users would want to talk or connect with each other. Are these like fair user stories or jobs to be done to be talking about?
Seems fine. You can also include 18 to 30 age group in this.
Sure. Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
So since we are talking about a generic video app, I'd like to now focus and move over to the features or the competencies that we try to build, right?
Right.
Cool. Again, just give me a couple of minutes to type out initial features and then we can discuss more on them.
Sure.
So in the meantime, while I'm writing this down, just to confirm, right, our competition is basically going to be all the current video calling apps which are there, like Skype, Zoom, Google Meet, uh, Teams, etc. Correct?
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
And right now, I'm not going to go into specific feature sets for professionals or large enterprises. I would still want to stick to the product-led growth or the uh, consumer-oriented product with certain features for enterprises, but not focusing completely on enterprises.
Okay, works.
Sure. So till now, like the basic features which I'm talking about are user calling and user video. And since we are talking primarily about 18 to 30 age group, I would also want to discuss how we can use maybe filters in the experience, and also have user calling as a separate feature where I envision like users will be able to send themselves or each other specific video call or video message with multiple features similar to Snapchat and Instagram. As we know that these are already apps which have a massive following in the age group that we are looking at. Is that a fair understanding to have?
Yes, it's good.
Right. Also, since we are looking at enterprise as a secondary feature, and also like we know that a lot of professionals are currently using uh, these tools for professional work experiences, I would want to focus on having transcripts, because a lot of our current uh, teams etc already provide this feature, and also it would help in those kinds of professional scenarios where we want to say send out meeting summaries or maybe call summaries to different users,
Sounds good.
right? I'm also trying to think if it is possible, we would want to add GIFs natively to the video image, and that would really help with the 18 to 30 age group, and again, get helping them express themselves better.
Sounds good. One question to you.
Yeah,
Since our most of the features are aligned to a personal user rather than a professional one,
yeah.
so what are your thoughts upon it? That when we are creating a MVP, should we create it for one specific user segment itself, or do we need to have features for the secondary users as well?
For the MVP, I would definitely want to first go for the personal use, because like we said, our primary goal is to increase market share and engagement, and enterprises are more of a long haul use case, in my opinion, where we have to put in a lot of effort with sales team and get and win contracts, which is time consuming and not really in the spirit of the MVP. So I would prefer to work on the personal oriented features first.
Sounds great.
Right.
So from
Also,
the first,
sorry, please go ahead.
so from the personal user side, have you listed down all your features, or you want to add some more?
I'm going to add a few more. But while we were on the topic of MVP, I feel that since we are building a very technical use case, like uh, the uh, video conferencing apps are fairly technical from a backend perspective. I would also want to talk about how servers handle loads, right? Especially because uh, our server loads would actually like might be very jittery in a country like India. So I would want to ensure that right from the MVP, our servers gracefully handle degradation and uh, graceful degradation. And for example, if we are having network issues, we disable advanced features like GIFs and filters, and maybe even video calling completely, and at least let users communicate on a basic audio chat,
Sounds good.
right? So one is filters and GIFs, which is primarily for expressions. Also from like personal use case, I find it really relevant if we could have WhatsApp integration, especially in a country like India, where a lot of uh, youngsters are using WhatsApp. We would want them to be able to call or have a video chat with WhatsApp directly from the WhatsApp app. I'm not sure if we are in talks with WhatsApp or not, but I feel that would be like a critical use case.
I think going ahead with WhatsApp would be a little bit difficult for us, given they also have a video call option with them. So we
Sure,
can neglect this point for now.
sure. Um, do you want okay, one more which I was hoping we could work on was the kids mode, because like again, since the pandemic we know children and even aged parents are using uh, these kinds of tools a lot more. Therefore, I would want to build a kids mode where A, like obviously we have age appropriate content and filters, and B, we want to have a super easy single tap experience for a specific contact, so that kids can, or even senior citizens can, reach out to their family members and loved ones very simply.
Glad to see that you also took parents as a user persona, where kids generally use their parents' phone. So this kids mode will definitely be useful for them. Glad to see that you have made that point.
Cool. Yeah, so these are the key like four features actually. Expressions, filters and GIFs, WhatsApp integration, and kids mode. Since WhatsApp seems to be a bit hard, and I agree that WhatsApp already has a video calling feature, it would be hard for us to go ahead with that. So we can deprioritize this one now. From a kids mode perspective, I feel that these are also like simpler experiences to build, since we are having a whole new app from the ground up. So this is the one that I would want to focus on. And secondly, from an expressions perspective, we already have Zoom and Instagram, WhatsApp, all of whom have filters and GIFs. So I would put this in second priority from a parity perspective, and also to increase the engagement with the youngsters.
Sounds great.
Cool.
Hmm.
So these are the basic items that we have, and like from a tech perspective, would love to have graceful degradation in place, and would want to have a chat with engineering teams on how we can get that done, right?
Okay. So do you see any key blocks in implementation of these features? Would you like to highlight some?
Sure. So the key blocks that I would want to build are, first of all, the user accounts. In particular, since we are talking about kids account as well, we would want to have kids as a separate account so that we can track that. Secondly, we would want to have the network connections and uh, connection quality in particular, right, as a separate, a specific feature on the server side, right? And third, we would want to discuss about filters and expressions, right? So each account would basically be given access to a specific set of filters in my head, and that can be used for um, expressing. So for example, like user accounts would have a different set of filters, kids account would have a different set of filters, and on the app, of course, you would sign in with your account, and you would have a kids mode for enabling kids. And on the filters and expressions, you would be able to select from a carousel. And on the server side, like this would be monitored proactively by the network team, or by the product itself, and it would manage the loads appropriately.
Sounds good. So would you like to give a summary of the case that we recently solved?
Right. So basically, we are trying to create a new video app from the ground up for the Indian audience in the age bracket of 18 to 30. And we want to increase market share and gain market share, and have high engagement with this application. And we are trying to identify what product features we would need to build so that we can achieve these targets.
Great. Uh, Thank you for doing this, Ujjwal, with us. It was great solving this case with you.
Thank you.
So any one of our Seekamentor users have any kind of queries, you can please comment down so that we can answer them in our next Industry Connect. Why don't we end our call with a brief understanding of the hiring process that happens at Microsoft, and how was your experience during that hiring process?
Right. So I felt the Microsoft hiring process was fairly technical. and there were a bunch of like key themes that they were trying to target. So in particular, they were trying to understand the past resume and the past history that I have, product design and tech or system design. We also had a few questions on guesstimates and analysis, and obviously behavioral questions about how I would like attack certain problems or how I would handle certain situations, right, for diversity and culture. So to be clear, the interview rounds were not specific to one of these topics. We were usually discussing more than one over in any of the rounds, but over 3 to 4 rounds, they were able to cover almost all of them.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you for sharing the process with us. At Seekamentor, we strive to bring industry experience to our mentees, provide them with valuable mentorship, and bring them closer to their goals. Thank you for being part of the journey. Stay connected. Thank you once again.
Thank you.